Oh, no, it's thinking. There we go.
Welcome. This is an exciting celebration.
Yeah, we are so happy to have these two wonderful guests with us to talk about our favorite week of the year, right? We have RootsTech coming up, and these two are going to let us know all about it, and we'll tell you a little bit about them quickly. They are both members of the team that makes it happen.
Yeah, they've had no sleep for a while. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's overrated.
Especially some weeks of the year, right?
Yep.
So we have Brandon with us, Brandon Beckstead. He's the event manager. And Rachel, and tell me which you prefer to have as the pronunciation of your last name.
So it's Matheus. It's like a good sneeze, Matheus. So you don't say the th like a sound. You pronounce each letter. It's my husband is French by way of Peru, and so that's I got a complicated last name when I married him. But I'll answer to just about any way that anybody pronounces it, and if you want to be safe, you just go with my maiden name and call me Rachel Crump. So it's
there
all
you go. So Rachel, you are the experience manager, and I can't even imagine what you're going through right now. Being in charge of staffing in the expo hall and the content on the website and organizing the classes and all that. It's amazing. And Brandon, you are the events manager. You're way up there. You have way too much to do for this.
Besides making ukuleles or something, right?
I do that. Well, not as much as I used to. Kids get older, you kind of lose your hobbies. But yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
So just so happens this next week in Salt Lake City, we're going to have thousands and thousands and thousands. And listen to this, millions and millions of people online for some reason. Some conference that's happening. So you two tell us about this, how it got started, or whatever you want to say, and tell us what it is for those that might not know.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, do you want me to start, Brandon?
Yeah, you go for it.
So, the beauty of RootsTech is that it was born out of a desire to bring people together and build connection. And so there was a desire to get the technologists together with the genealogists, so they could each help each other do their work. And I think about that origin story, and could it be even any more family history than building this connection between different groups of people. But it was born there and grew so fast. I look at the pattern of numbers over the years that it grew from, and eventually we started adding things like beginner tracks and discovery and all of these things to invite those that maybe don't think of themselves as a family historian yet, but we want to invite them to what brings us so much joy. And as that's happened, and honestly, as the spirit of Elijah has just continued to fill the earth, I really believe this is a balm for our time. We've seen that growth just expand, and it just is mind-blowing. In fact, I was just chatting with a colleague, and it never ceases to amaze me how incredible it is to sit on the front row right now and to be watching the Lord's hand in doing it, and how it's growing. But the pandemic years were really hard on us emotionally because we're events people and we thrill in the chairs. Brandon
I love chairs.
Nothing more than a map of the chairs.
Something. Yeah.
But we were forced to go online, and I really believe, and this is an opinion, but I really believe it gave us 15 years of growth into, because we knew that the writing was on the wall, that we needed to add languages and put more of it online. But I don't think we would have ever grown at the rate we did had we not had to go online and really focus there. So we apologize to everyone who had to go through a pandemic so that we could grow that fast. But
Rachel, the miracle that was, I remember when some of our leadership told us that we weren't thinking high enough. I was hoping that first year that would get 100,000, maybe 120,000. And someone told us you need to think higher. And I remember that week that it was
we all cried. We were in our team meeting, and
we breached the 1 million number, and it was beyond comprehension, and it was just it was spiritually, my testimony's always been there, but I knew that we had been led to that place. And
I think if you ask any of us about 2021,
yeah,
it
2021.
was a season of complete miracles for us because our website was being built. We were flying the plane as we were building it. We were venturing into languages that none of us spoke. We and yet we had people coming to us from all over the globe. I just remember every week we'd watch our countries and territories count grow. And I started watching that map and all of the places around the earth where even the church is not yet, but we're joining RootsTech. And I just remember thinking, we're sitting in a season of miracles, but we're talking in places where we can't go today and talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ, but we can talk about family. And it's just kept going. And
Rachel,
we expect more.
absolutely.
We learn to expect miracles.
You talk about the website, and it's easy to gloss over that. It was my job to go out and find a website, and there just wasn't anything out there that did what we needed. And our engineers threw this together with baling wire, a little toothpaste.
Oh, MacGyver.
Oh yeah. But it worked. And
we shouldn't underplay, by the way, our engineering group that we work with, I mean, are incredibly talented individuals.
Absolutely.
Who do amazing work every single day. But every one of them walked away from the things that they were working on to help build RootsTech.org. And they brought every bit of talent and all the spirit that they needed. And then God magnified our efforts because it should not have stood up that first year, honestly.
Not at all.
It should not have stood up.
Incredible.
And I remember every day when I'd go for my 4 hours of sleep at the hotel, I'd come back and go, okay, did anything explode? And nothing exploded. In fact, I remember the first morning, so we launched on Wednesday afternoon, Salt Lake time, so that we would be available on Thursday in Asia and the Pacific. We've had to learn a lot about how time zones around the world work. And I was doing chats and helping people and answering questions until about 1 a.m. And I went and slept for a few hours and I was back by 6 because you just can't. And I walked back in and one of my colleagues messaged me on the side and I'm like, how was the night shift? How did things go overnight? And she said, well, the only question I got was, this place is amazing. How can I learn more about your church? And again, I just sat at my desk and started crying because it was like, wow, look at what we get to do. And it just, every single day, it's the thrill of a lifetime to get to do this. And
it is.
So it never wears out for me. But
the amazing thing too is, again, we were told to look a little higher. So that 1 million number, I'm like, we've made it. What else can we do? That's 1 million people. Our goals and projections are 10 million this year. So we're continuing to grow and see the Lord's work just moving faster and faster every day.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting to note that President Nelson said, we will see some of the greatest miracles between now and the second coming. And they're not ones that everybody gets a chance to see firsthand, but you two have seen this firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
No question.
Seriously, front row seats. And in fact, after that 2021 year, we went in and presented what had happened at RootsTech. I wasn't there, but I got to hear about it later, to the first presidency. And President Nelson told us then, he said, RootsTech is a force for peace and love in the world. And that much of what we were doing wouldn't be measurable by numbers. And I look at that and I look at it, I think about that all the time. Is what I'm doing promoting peace and love in the world and helping. And it's a litmus test for me as I make decisions. But I sure like watching it come to fruition. It's a gift.
Most everything else right now is divisive. And this is absolutely inclusive. And it makes us all related. And we're all friends. And it reaches across any borders. And it's this powerful thing that is going to
Change.
save and cleanse the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, Elder Bednar was really clear about that.
Mhm.
And Elijah had some pretty good things to say about it. And Moroni quoted him really well. And it is happening. It's just miraculous. I mean, the last I read, 1.2 billion people are busy in family history online. How does that happen? And then to have this largest family history conference in the world happening this week and bringing together people from all walks of life.
And there's something for everyone. I mean, everybody can be involved some way.
And we do want to say to you too, you know, I guess an Olympian prepares for the Olympics all their life, and then all of a sudden the week comes. But you two have been preparing for this all year. The week is finally here, and our prayers are with you. We'll fast for you this week.
Thank you.
Lots going on.
Yeah, tell us about it. What is going on? What's new this year? Just give us kind of a rundown of what to expect.
Oh, we've got so many fun things happening. So I think, it starts on Thursday with our first forum session. So last year we introduced the forums, and we will start at 9:30 on Thursday. So we'll have the 8 o'clock class session, of course. There'll be content, by the way, starting online at 4 o'clock Salt Lake time on Wednesday. And we're running a 24-hour calendar online. So you can, all the insomniacs, when your ancestors come calling in the middle of the night, there will be something playing on rootstech.org for you in some of our languages. Not every language is 24 hours a day, but English and Spanish definitely will be. But when we get to that 9:30 session on Thursday morning with the Family Search Global and Tech Forum, you're going to get to hear from some of the great people that are building things on Family Search, that are enhancing things on Family Search, and those that are out there seeking what are the needs of those outside of the Western European English-speaking world. There is so much that's happening in those other parts of the world, and really some talented people that are just putting their all into creating better experiences in Spanish and better experiences in Chinese, and meeting those needs and meeting people where they are. So much going on. It's improving our oral genealogy, accessing all that work for those that are in Africa and trying to build their family tree. So they're going to talk about that, and that's going to be the kickoff of what you'll hear from Family Search during the course of the week. But then our first keynote session, we'll of course hear from Steve Rockwood again. He's always a highlight. Our boss is busy working with him on that keynote all the time, and I think it's just nobody will be disappointed. But then we just announced our final keynote speaker this morning. So Rachel Platten, who she's most known for singing the song Fight Song. She is a mother. She's a musician. She refers to herself as a human being, flawed and imperfect, and all of that brings. But she's going to take the stage on Thursday with us, and we're really excited to have her. She's a lot of her music in the last few years has been centered around her family life and what she's learned from becoming a mother, and so this will just, I'm sure, delight. And we always love a musical keynote. It adds something extra to those general sessions. But when you get to the expo hall during lunch and Thursday evening, we've got a lot of fun features that we've added this year. So we've brought the Discovery Zone back and added some more cultural activities. One of the cool byproducts of the last 3 years, and Brandon, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong on this, but is that we've invited a lot of archivists from around the world to come and join us at RootsTech and have an experience. But what we're starting to see now, and we even saw it last year, is that those archivists who are not always, very seldom are they from our typical countries, the next year call us up and say, hey, we want to be exhibitors. We want to come back. We want to bring our homeland to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
So we've got companies from Japan that are showing at RootsTech in our expo hall. We've got a man from Korea coming who is like, I want Korea to be a part of this. And he's bringing in these incredible historical documents, family documents, and Korean genealogies for people to see and to get to see what that's like. But with that, we're going to have a Korean calligraphy station where you can find out what your name would look like in Korean.
I love
We've
that.
we've got Latin American activities and crafts. Um, we're just, one of the things that we felt really strongly in 2023 was the the Salt Lake experience needs to reflect the globe that's online with us too.
Oh, great idea.
And we had a few ideas, but the ideas are now coming to us. Like Brandon and I, we aren't good enough at that. So the Lord's just prompting other people to come and offer these things up. And I, again, I'm like, wow, how did this happen? Do you want to tell about art, Brandon, though?
Yes.
About the ARC? Sorry.
No, the art exhibit.
The art. Yeah, absolutely. So again, trying to bring the outside world to Utah and take what we're doing here in Utah out. We are going to have an art exhibit of heritage musings is what it's called. But it's artwork from your homeland, whatever it might be. So we'll have artwork really from all over the world that you can come and just take a look. And it's amazing what in art you find. There's just culture and history. And so I'm really excited for the art. It's something we're going to focus on more. I think the next few years is the culture that comes through that.
That's such a great idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love that. Wow.
Exciting. So then we have Friday and we have Discovery Day. Can we talk about those a little bit? Discovery Day is pretty exciting with Elder Anderson coming.
Yeah, it'll be great. So we've got a lot going on for Family Discovery Day this year. We've got classes starting at 8 o'clock in the morning that'll be free to those that are coming just for discovery, that are really centered around how we as Latter-day Saints can incorporate this into our family. We've, of course, got your session with John, by the way, and his lovely wife, whose name just fell out of my head. Kim, thank you.
And our grandson, Seth Christensen, too.
Yeah, and we've got T.C. Christensen. We're excited to see some of these things. But in the Discovery Zone, in the Expo Hall, we've got activities for all ages. Our favorite is coming back. We bought a bunch of vintage typewriters and antique typewriters a few years ago. And we like to pull them out because our children are absolutely fascinated by them.
Yes.
And our youth and our young adults. And we actually took it to
it's the rotary phones that I'm super excited this year.
That's true. So we're expanding on our vintage experiences and bringing in rotary phones.
You want us to bring our typewriter and our vintage phone from our basement?
Absolutely. Bring them along. I had a suggestion that the next thing we need to do is add cassette tapes to this because our kids don't know how to use those either.
We got lots of those.
That's right. And
we also have the other side where we have virtual reality headsets. We have a bunch of virtual where you can go visit your homeland just right here in Salt Lake City. You can go walk around what it looks like today. And there's some programs that help you see what it looked like maybe 100 years ago. There's some fun things that we'll have there.
That's so fun. What an exciting thing. And then the afternoon, we have entertainment and Elder Anderson, right?
Yes. So Elder Anderson will be taking the stage, he and Sister Anderson, in the 1:30 Family Discovery Day session. So that'll be a 90-minute session, by the way, this year. So a little bit longer than what it's been because we also have special guests starting out, and it's the piano guys. And we've been inviting the piano guys in different ways for a long time. We're so excited that the timing finally worked out to have them join us. And we'll get to share a little bit of their family stories as they sing or they play for us. They don't sing, they play. But we're so excited to finally have them to join us and be a part of RootsTech and then to share in that very special session with Elder Anderson. And there's at least one video that Elder Anderson's going to show that is I think my favorite thing that we've done this year. So I'm not going to say more, but you're going to have chills. You're going to be so excited when you see it.
Wow.
Of course.
Then you'll be able to find this video on our website and watch it over and over again afterwards. So, don't worry. It's not a one and done.
Wow.
So leadership, by the way, will be available starting Thursday. So you can watch in your ward councils. Uh, and if you're a consultant or you're on the Ward Family History Council, that'll be available. It's going to be a great discussion with Elder Kieran, Elder Anderson, Sister Yee, Sister Porter, Elder Hamilton, and Elder Duncan. And those over the last few years, it's been great. A short discussion from them, and then an opportunity to counsel together. And that counsel can even go into your family councils, that you can sit down with your
Absolutely.
family,
Yes.
watch it, and then counsel together about what's your family temple and family history plan, and how you make that happen in your own space. And then we should have backed up to Wednesday night. We've got available. It will be available Wednesday night, and then thereafter, we've got our first ever global youth activity at RootsTech. This is not the same as Youth Night in 2020, if you were there for that.
Which
But
was wild.
yes, it was. It was. Sometimes we call it Youth Again, but the this youth activity will have Sister Porter and Brother Wilcox and some incredible guests. A family called the Sandu family that are aerial acrobats, uh, and they're going to come and perform, but they're going to talk to our 11 and 12-year-olds about the experience of going to the temple for the first
That
time
would be
and how they
wonderful.
can participate in Ordinances Ready and always take a family name to the temple. And so the purpose of this activity is that we'll provide the studio audience and the sounding board, but every ward and stake has the opportunity to use that with their own kids, and help invite them to have that really powerful first temple experience, and use that video as it's useful to them, and have an activity centered around that. So
Oh,
it'll be a very special session. I think it'll be really tender.
So
yes.
just to clarify, is that one that people
No.
attend? It's
Not in person.
okay,
So
good. It's being filmed.
that one will happen before RootsTech starts, but you'll
Good.
be able to watch it online, immediately after the session, and
Perfect.
really get your kids involved. And again, it's designed to be used for future activity, and you can plan a youth night around that, and and really kind of get them on that track. I was in the stake primary presidency a couple of years ago, and we did something similar with our temple and priesthood preview experience, and where we invited the kids to come with their family search accounts and their parents, and it's so fun to watch their faces light up
Yeah.
when they see their own family tree, when they figure out that they can go to the temple and do that work for their own ancestors and have that experience. And that, going to the temple is not something you do when you get married or when you go on a mission. It starts right then. And so it's pretty cool.
Beautiful. Oh,
That's
so
wonderful.
we do have a question. What is the registration like? Is any of it free? How do you
Absolutely. It's very easy. Just go to rootstech.org, and there's two different paths you can follow. One that'll get you for the in-person, in Salt Lake City, if you're going to come sit down with us. And there is a charge for that one. But if you're going online, 100% free, just go in. It's basically give us your email address so we can remind you, tell you what's happening. And it's really simple, easy. Get signed up, come be with us.
But again, Discovery Day is free, even in person.
Correct. Absolutely.
And what's that like as far as the exhibit hall?
The exhibit hall, I've worked with exhibit halls forever, and I love the exhibit hall. We've always called it the heartbeat of the conference, because it's just the excitement. I love a good deal. First off, I'm big on that. We have, if you want to if you haven't done your DNA, you got to come to RootsTech and pick it up. The fun thing is, the deals that we have in person, we're also going to have online. So you don't have to be here to get those deals. It's there for everyone. So
and this will be a first this year. We've heard from the audience that's what they were looking for in the Expo Hall online, and it was kind of hard to find. So you'll see it right at the top of the Expo Hall page, some featured deals, and then we'll take you to a page with all the deals for the whole conference and what everybody's offering. So, that photo scanner that you've been eyeing, I know it's, if it's got got a special price. It'll be there for you.
And
So-
if you do want to come to the expo hall, just the expo hall, it's free the entire time. You in person, online, whatever. The expo hall is free. Come if you don't know if you really want to get into this, come check it out. Come see what it's like, and I promise you'll get the bug.
That's right. We have
So
a booth
true.
there for the Family History Guide, and we are so looking forward to meeting people from all over and helping them find the things that they need to know and to do for getting involved. And
Yeah,
so,
we have a deal worldwide. It's free.
yeah, ours is
Anyway.
free.
That's
I'll
good.
just mention too, another cool thing that we're doing in the expo hall this year, and kind of throughout the venue is we have added a free experience all week long in Spanish and Portuguese. So we will have classes being taught in the expo hall in Spanish throughout the conference. That we'll have more activities in the family search booth and Spanish speakers there. But our goal is really to help invite the Spanish and Portuguese speaking community around us as well to come and have an experience at RootsTech and be a part of that whole experience. And we very intentionally said, hey, we're going to start this year putting all of this in the free spaces. So let's make it as easy as possible to come, to be a part of it. If you've got friends and neighbors, please invite them to come with you and come down and have that experience. It'll be so cool. And it's really nice when you can talk to the people who do it in the language that you speak. And we have so many talented people in our department. They worked so hard on this to really build that experience up and make it a fantastic experience for everyone. You'll recognize them all because their shirts won't say, "What will you discover?" on the side. It will say something that Brandon's going to say in Spanish.
Nope, because I don't remember what the words are right now.
It'll say, "What will you discover?" in Spanish. I remember the word "descubre,"
I love
but
that.
that's as far as I can go. But
I'll tell you, is there anything you don't do? I mean, this is amazing.
Oh.
Can't imagine a conference more.
we haven't had a
meaningful.
juggler yet, Brandon. Maybe that's something
Nope,
we need to
not
look
juggler.
into.
I'll
Well,
tell
Oh,
you've
we've
got-
had a juggler. Okay, we've done
Yeah,
it all.
you did have one. I saw them.
How about
last year.
Our
How about
big
Wednesday
dream
night?
in my
You got-
early years was cold fire, and we did that. So
yeah, and you got trapeze artists or whatever on Saturday or
Yeah,
Wednesday night,
now
right?
that'll
I
be a
mean, come
first.
on.
That's
High
gonna be a
flyers.
first.
Any favorite
We've had
stories?
cloggers, but never acrobats before. So
Did you want to show any slides, or we've covered pretty much everything?
oh, I think we've covered a lot of it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Do you
think-
want some pictures of anything? I'm trying to think what we've got.
Yeah. Please.
Oh, I'll
look
share
on-
this. So hang on just a second. I'm going to share what our team looks like. So if you see us on site at RootsTech, please come up and say hello and let us know that what you're thinking and how you feel about the experience so far this year. Hopefully this is going to come right up here. 1 second. So I'll just introduce our team. So if you see any of these fine folks around, if we all look like we're walking zombies, you'll know why. But please stop us, say hello, and let us know how things are going. So
There they are.
There they are.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So, do you have any special stories, events, something you'd like to share before we close?
Absolutely. There's so many. And what's too bad with our team, we are so busy. We miss a lot of the little miracles that happen.
Mhm.
And we always ask everyone to write it down and share with us. But when you start talking about favorite memories, you said earlier, talked about ukuleles. I love ukuleles, everything about them. And I finally convinced them to bring Jake Shimabukuro to
We
RootsTech
remember.
years ago. And so I've been involved in the event industry more years than I'm going to admit. And there's just rules. You don't talk to the celebrities. You don't look at them unless spoken to. It's just common courtesy for people that get bothered all the time. I broke every single rule. Jake and I hung out. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of famous people in this world, but that one was just like my day. I something I'll never forget, ever. And
Christmas Plus.
Yes. That's one of my favorite for sure.
Oh, I love that.
Rachel?
Oh, for me, I think that there are a few that are like, oh, these were never to be forgotten. We talked about RootsTech 2021, and just this huge season of miracles. But one of the high points for me over the years was RootsTech 2019. So we made a very, very intentional decision to uh, put the joy up front, and to incorporate everyone that we work with in the family history department into RootsTech. And if you remember, that was the first year of the blue shirts that said, "Ask me anything." And that was the staffing of RootsTech was my baby at the time, and we made a decision that we were going to treat our staff as well as we want to treat our guests. And so we just went out of our way, and we planned for it, and we tapped into talents, and we prayed for it, and there was such a special feeling at RootsTech 2019. I remember going home, and I literally had blisters on my blisters. My feet hurt so badly I could hardly walk, but I was like, let's just do it again, because it was so full of the Spirit. It was so joyful.
Mm.
And I just remember the last day as we were walking, I was walking on the sidewalk. People were thanking me like they thank military service people or missionaries, and I was like, okay, we haven't done that much, but people were running, attendees were running and holding doors for me as I'd been holding doors for them all week long. And the camaraderie in our team, like the feeling was so good. And it was just, you know, you got to see the way that people can reflect the Savior in their lives, just manifested so powerfully. But we thought, okay, that was really special. Can we do it again? And 10 months later, we went to London and we did the same
We were
thing.
there.
That's right.
And we approached it in London much the same way. And in this case, we didn't have all of our paid colleagues that were to help us do it. We went to the young adults in the greater London area and other members there, and they brought it all too. And I look back at RootsTech London as probably one of the top 10 most spiritual experiences of my life,
Yeah, it was amazing.
because there was so much joy and so much love happening there. And the security guards at the Excel Center kept asking Brandon, they kept saying, "Why are you people so nice? We tell you no, and you're so nice to us." But I sat there on the last day because, as you recall, we shared the building with Comic Con.
Yes.
And
Oh, yes.
that was an interesting experience, wasn't it? And
Yes.
but I remember watching all these young people streaming into Comic Con in their costumes and all of this stuff, and them stopping on our end of the building, and they wanted to come down to our expo hall, and they're like, "What's going on down there?" And they were completely drawn to it. And the thought hit me as I was watching them kind of at the barricade between us and Comic Con, and how they wanted to linger where we were. And I was like, what they're seeking over there in connection and story and people that are a community to them, what they were seeking there was what we were offering for real on our side of the building. And they couldn't help but be drawn to it. And it just was one of those great manifestations of the power of the Lord in offering up what we all want and need, and the balm that family history is for our time. And I just remember sitting there like, why are they drawn to this so much? And it was like, because this is what they're seeking in other things.
Yeah.
And they're getting the candy coated version over here, but we were offering real sustenance. And it was just amazing. But I could go on for days, because
Yeah.
RootsTech Miracles is my favorite part, but it's that one, and you can't separate the two. 2019 Salt Lake made 2019 London that possible, because we knew going in what could happen. And then the Spirit just kicks in, and he does so much more than what any of us is capable of. And it doesn't get any better than that.
That's so true. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks to both of you for being with us today. We are so excited about this week. And, we are keeping you all in our prayers and hope that you can at least get a few hours of sleep every night. And and the whole team, please thank the whole entire team for us.
And the apostles' comments over the years resonate still. We use those quotes all the time, and a chance for them to be very approachable on stage and presented in a way that we get to know them personally, and then for them to share their hearts and souls about their own family and about family.
With their wives.
Those quotes have been so powerful, and we are so looking forward to this year again as we treasure up the promises that we have heard so many times that have come from RootsTech itself.
And we've experienced them in our own lives.
Yes, we have.
Over and
so
over.
much. So please, all our viewers, please share this with everyone. This is such a powerful, wonderful opportunity, but please invite everyone you know. Talk about it in your ward. Invite everybody to get on RootsTech and find out what the miracle this can be in their own lives.
Yes. Thanks
Thanks
you
again,
so
you
much.
two.
Have a
Been great
wonderful
being
day,
with you.
everyone. Bye-bye.